certifying badasses one podcast at a time. Teaching you to love Monday. Check your baggage at licensed-to-be-badass.com and hop on the bus to Badassville. Turn up your energy with Mustang Monday. Here once again in the driver's seat is Kelly Orchard.
It doesn't matter what you do.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hey, everybody. Kelly Orchard here with Mustang Monday. I'm the Badass Certifier. And in the seat with me, look who's here. It's Jennifer Evans of Michelle's Place. Now, you're kind of somewhat new to Michelle's Place.
I am. I've been here a little over 90 days as the program manager, so new. Yeah, a lot to learn. It's such a great organization. 20 years this year, and so it's amazing to be a part of such a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll have more on that. I've been kind of teasing that I'm doing the whole Michelle's Place, in tandem, and so there's a group one, and then there's all the staff, and I don't even know. It's going to turn out to be a lot of fun. So this is Badass Tips from the Streets, and you and I are just really getting acquainted.
Right.
We've known each other for a very short time.
Right.
Very little time. But, I always say that my Rotary Club is like shooting fish in a barrel to get people to get in the seat of the Mustang, because I drive it to my Rotary Club on Mondays. Well, now I drive it here to Michelle's Place. Because I moved my office over here, so you guys are like shooting fish in a barrel. Hey, let's go get in the Mustang and have a conversation.
Right.
So you're from the South.
I am from the South. I moved here 3 years ago.
Yeah.
From Greenville, South Carolina. I fell in love with a California guy, and 5 grandkids over here, and so I was like, I can't move you, and who doesn't want to move to California when you're from the East Coast? It's like a dream come true. So we moved out here 3 years ago, and thank goodness we found Temecula, because Temecula is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. I love it here. I love it here too. So when we talked about your badass tip, tell me a little bit about, because you sent me a little stuff, and you're the first person, I'll be honest, you're so prepared. You're actually the first person who sent me some notes.
I was always a teacher's pet, right? I was like, I had to have everything perfect, and if I didn't get an A, I was crying in the corner. I just, thinking about it, and it's so great that you and I have been able to collaborate. And can I tell them?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have just joined Licensed to be Badass, and as the brand strategist. So exciting.
I love that. So your title was Badass Brand Strategist.
Yeah, right.
And we call you Badass Jen.
But I mean, right?
Yeah, hey, it fits.
It works.
That's how you are on my phone.
But I had to, I was thinking about it and everything, and this past year has just been so revealing for me. I am not only at Michelle's Place, which is great. I am part of the Rotary Club of Temecula on the board and the brand manager there. I am part of the board of the Boys and Girls Club. And now I am licensed to be badass, and on that, it's a lot, right?
Yes, it is.
Not only including the fact that I have a wonderful husband that actually likes to spend time with me.
That's
kind of important, right?
Really important.
2 kids that we're still raising and getting ready to go to college in the service. Our grandkids, 2 adult kids, so much going on. And, I just started thinking about it, and I was like, what can I share? And I wish that, and probably someone did share this with me when I was young, right? But you don't listen when you're young, because you got it.
Yeah.
Is that you have to take care of yourself.
Right.
And that seems very selfish when you're young, because you're trying to do everything you need to do. But just like this Mustang cannot run without gas, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah, she's got a drinking problem for sure. That's what I say.
I mean,
but you're right. If I run out of gas, I'm stuck. That's
you got nowhere to go.
I got nowhere to go.
Right? And so I learned that eventually after, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it's above 40. And, and so I learned that if I don't take care of myself, I can't do all these things that I'm doing in the community now. And I could do so much more. I get approached all the time. Can you do this? Can you run on this board? I would love to, but I can't.
And the thing is that the reason that you're asked is because you give your 100%, and because you're effective, and because you have the skill set. Right? And that's why you're asked. But so what are you saying? You have to learn to say no?
Yeah, you have to learn to say, I really appreciate it. I'm very honored. But at this point in time, I want to give 100% to everything I have, including myself. And if I wouldn't be doing you honor and justice, or myself, or anyone else in my life, if I took this on right now. And that is the hardest thing to do. when I was young, my dad said, and anything my dad says is the truth. For sure, biblical truth, because he's a pastor. So,
Okay.
and so, but
You're a pastor's kid.
Oh yeah,
that explains a lot. I mean, in the best way.
Yeah, no. And he said, you have a servant's heart, which I always hung my hat on that. I was like, that's who I am. That's my identity. I'm not the smart one. I'm not the pretty one. It wasn't all those other things you pick up. It was like, but I can serve. That's great and that's awesome. But you can only serve if you have something to give and take care of yourself. And so in my 20s and 30s, I literally found myself on the floor. Depression. I've taken every medicine they have. Everything that's been told could be wrong with me, they've told me. Mm-hmm. And then I figured out finally, I just had to look inside myself, calm down for a minute, take care of myself, and let other people take care of me and invest in me. Mm-hmm. And so after that, it flipped a switch. It flipped the format on everything that I do.
Thank you for using my
You're
term.
welcome. I've been listening
You're a great brand manager, I'm telling you. Brand strategist, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you
flip the format on how you were thinking.
Yeah.
So what you had to do was you're still a servant heart. But you're realizing that you kind of have to fill your own tank first.
Yeah, just pull back.
So how do you do that? So give them how you do it.
Wow.
It is really hard. Listen, I know. Because that's why I wanted you to come work with me, because I figured there's a synergy. We're very like-minded in that way. I give 100%, and I too have been guilty in the past of overcommitting.
Yeah.
And then you get exhausted, and then the next thing you do is you're letting everybody down, at least in your mind.
Yeah.
And then the anxiety and the depression kicks in.
Oh, it'll kill you.
So in order to prevent that, you have to refill.
There's several things. I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. I mean, that may seem like ridiculous at my age, but I do go to bed at 9 o'clock. I've started working out every morning, getting up at 4:30 to do that on something that I love. It wasn't because anyone else loved it or anyone else goes along with me. It's because it gives me joy. The next thing I do is when I get home is I pick a podcast. Obviously, I've been listening to yours lately, but
thank you.
Even more than that, there's so many. There's so many different things that you can listen to, and it's if you give yourself if you let your mind and heart speak. It's funny, you'll just scroll through these and I see ones and I'm like, oh, that sounds good, and I pick it and it speaks to me like it's just meant to be. And so I listen to those. I get myself in that right mindset for in the morning, that I am powerful, that I am bold, I'm brave, I'm confident, all the things that I need to be to get out into the world. And I just carry that with me all day. I'm tired by 9 o'clock. I'm ready to go to bed, but I just carry it all day. And the other thing is just connect with people and let people take care of you. Mm-hmm. How many times do I come in your office and say, I just need a minute?
Yep, and I'm like, shut the door. And sit on my couch.
Yeah, or just tell people, hey, and be honest with yourself. I need a minute. I love you. I care about you, but I just need a moment to reconnect. Always just checking in with that mind, that body, that your heart.
Yeah, that's the self-awareness, being aware that, oh, I need to take a breath.
Right.
And I share that a lot, that's so important. I too was of the mindset of just keep going, like the Energizer Bunny, and I share in my book Heart Lessons that God has a way of slowing you down.
Right.
And so we don't have to let it get that point, though.
No.
We can learn to take care of ourselves along the way, and I think filling your tank was like, hey, for Mustang, it's just going to be so great doing brand strategies. So it's like, filling your tank is so important.
Yeah.
But I think also it's quality time with your loved ones, and I know you do that because you seem to have a good boundary there. That's your important thing.
It's not because of me. I'll have to say that. I cannot take credit for this, and anyone that watches this now that knew me before maybe 2 or 3 years ago is going to go, she's either lying or she's completely changed, because I never knew how to do these things, and they would just see me running around full of panic, full of anxiety, trying to put fires out. But Bill has told me, he said, you know what, I make you first place in my life, and I want to be first place in yours, and I won't take anything less. And I love that. It was like a moment of saying, this is what I deserve and this is what I need. And I've started again using that in other relationships. You have to just set those things, and it's okay. It's okay to have boundaries and say, this is what I need from you. And so he keeps me in check all the time. All the time. It says, hey, you're running too hard. Let's slow it down for a minute, and I need you. And then I'll just check back in with my family and go back to it. Not perfect by any means, but it does help a lot when you have someone that can kind of be your balance and help counteract all the things that you're not, so
well, it is a big, huge adjustment that you've made moving all the way across the country. I want to say, you hauled your cookies all the way across the country for some boy.
Right, I did.
That's a line from Grease, by the way. The movie.
I did, and I could, like I said, I couldn't be happier. When I was going back and forth dating him, my parents had a little bit of anxiety about it because I'm taking the grandkids possibly out here and everything else. You go into LA and you're like, no way am I moving here. This is insane. But you come to a place like Temecula where everyone, and when I say Temecula, the whole valley, the greater area, is so wonderful. Like, they just give and give and give. And you'll learn more about that when you talk about Michelle's place. Is what we have here is all because of the community and their support. And so I couldn't be prouder and happier to move somewhere. I've met the right people at the right time, such as you, such as Kim. There's so many other people I've met that I can mention that just have made all the things in my life happen make sense now. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I think it's also part of you set your mind to meet the right people too, so you're attracting them. It's like they talk about law of attraction, and I'm just one of the believers in there's 12 universal laws. Right. Law of attraction is just one of them, but it's a good one, and you came with a different mindset. I love what you just said, because I did not know this about you, and you said people who knew me a few years ago will see a different woman. Yeah. And I think that what's important to say right here is that it is possible to change your mindset and how you react and respond to different, in my world we call it stimuli, in this we call it like stuff, crazy issues, but you're responding and reacting differently. So now, and I love that, I want to know more about what you do here at Michelle's place, and then how you ended up here. Because you came from something completely different.
I did come from something completely different. And because I've hustled all my life, and I've read a lot about your stories, you have too, I never took time to go, what do I really want to do? So what I did was I would work a full-time, whatever it may be, in different industries. And then I would try to fill in my time because I wanted to serve. I try to fill in all that extra time that we think we have doing projects and, doing other things. And I realized very quickly that there are things out here that I can have as my job, but I can also pour my whole heart into and serve the community as well. So I was kind of going through that journey anyway. And I went to a golf tournament for Michelle's place, and I met the ladies and I met the clients and I met Marilyn. Sorry.
That's okay.
And when you meet them, you go, this is amazing. Parents who felt the worst pain in their life took that and made it beautiful.
I know.
And you'll learn more about that. Sorry. Yeah. But if you ever meet Marilyn, you're going to understand why I do this, right?
For that.
And so I was like, I have to do it. And they just had an opening for something I've never done before in my life. And so I'm usually pretty confident. I was pretty scared. I was like, oh, wow, had the interview, and it was just meant to be. It just came around. And so what I do here is many things. It says program manager, which is taking care of the classes, the support groups, and all the things we do. We have cooking class, we have Reiki, we have yoga, but we also have, we just started a men's support group because men face cancer now more than ever.
We've transitioned. Michelle's place has transitioned from breast cancer to serve all cancers
because
literally opens it up to a huge population.
The need is so great, right. and then also just taking care of our navigators, who are the heart and soul of what we do.
So explain what navigators are. It's like anybody who's not familiar with Michelle's place, a navigator, I think that you would say that they were like a caseworker in a way.
I yes, maybe, I
like navigator. I
like
word
navigator better. Because a caseworker can have such negative connotation. Unfortunately,
seems very clinical too.
Very clinical, very cold. What the navigators do is exactly what it means, which is they take you on this journey because the cancer journey you can start in many different ways. and you can be in different parts of it, and it can end in many different ways. So they are here just to show you the path and help you on that path and give you the resources, right? So all the resources, there are so many resources out in our community, federally, state, there's so many, but it would be impossible for one person
to find them. Yeah.
You know, you just cannot do it. And unfortunately, you know, the doctors are so busy. Thank goodness for them for helping us and take care of us. But there's so much more that people need emotionally, physically, you know, mentally, besides the physical aspect of it, that we can show them and give them a guide to where it's at. And what's wonderful about Michelle's Place is everything is completely free. We keep our clients so close to us, and we will fight for them to the death to make sure that they are not charged for anything that we bring them, because financially cancer is wrecking on people. You know, I lost my mom to it. It's very hard on them. It can it can financially drain you. So we don't want to put any extra burden there. We're here just to make sure that they're okay, and give them all the support they need. So the Navigators can be so many things, but more than that, they're just your friend. You gain an extra friend. And we say once you're part of MP family, Michelle's Place family, you're always family.
Well, that was my first experience. Now, see, I'm a heart failure survivor, so there's you have the American Heart Association, but there's not really anything like what Michelle's Place offers for cancer. And so when I first moved here, and you know, I had just written my book Heart Lessons, and I think I too met Kim at some sort of function, and we connected, and I went over to Michelle's Place and met Marilyn, and I've been affiliated with in some sort of a capacity ever since, where there are survivor retreats that they have once a year, and some of the educational series that you host. And so for me, coming over to Michelle's Place was very natural progression. And then meeting you, it's like, all right, then it's like, hey, you want to do some badass stuff? You know, so it's, you know, but it is about filling the tank. You and I are like that same driven personality type, but we're also very sensitive, and emotional, and that's a good thing too. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's definitely nothing wrong with it. But when you have a brain that fires on all cylinders and is constantly going,
it exhausts you.
It will exhaust you, and you have to say, okay, you know, let's just, again, I'm doing rowing now, so not a plug for it because I'm not going to tell you where I go, but the one thing I love that they say, we give it all we've got several times, and then they slow us down for them a minute, and they say, check back into your body, check back into where you are, quiet your mind, because your mind will tell you can't do something before anything else, and your mind is the most powerful tool, I believe, in your body.
It is.
And so you got to check back in, and I just keep using that all the time when I feel that little bit of anxiety, and I do. There are several times a day where I'm like, oh, I got so much going on. Check back in. It's okay, because at the end of the day, it's all right. Yeah, I'm still breathing, so
it's okay. I had my own little mantra after a Sedona trip a year ago, and it was basically, I am pure of heart. It's okay.
Right.
And that's just what I remind myself all the time. It's like, my heart is pure. I mean well. I may make mistakes. I may lose it once in a while, but I'm still badass.
Well, we're so much easier as humans. Who, you know, another thing is self-compassion. Yeah. We give everyone else compassion. If you hurt me, I'll just say, oh, Kelly didn't mean to. It's totally fine. Yeah. But if I mess up or make a mistake, I'm beating myself up for hours.
Exactly.
And I had to learn to just say, you know what? It's okay to forgive myself, because why would I forgive others
and not me
and not myself?
I know.
And so when I started doing that and saying, it's okay, it's fine, you know, again, you got to have that self-awareness. If I hurt you, I got to say, I'm sorry. You know, if I can feel that I hurt you, or even if I can't, you got to be self-aware enough to know that. You can't just go along and say it's fine, but you got to allow yourself to be yourself and make mistakes, because otherwise, I mean, you'll just never, you'll never be happy.
I know.
So
very good. Yeah.
Anyway.
Fail forward.
Right?
Yes. All right. Okay, everybody, this is Kelly Orchard right here, the Badass Certifier, and this is Certified Badass Jennifer Evans, who's the program manager over at Michelle's Place, and she's also my Badass Brand Strategist. It's a brand new title.
Right. I love that title, but it's a lot.
It's a lot what you're doing for me, and I really appreciate it. And this is like your first official thing.
Right. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Very good. All right. So at the end, I say this. My tagline.
Right.
So it's like, so here we are reminding you. And first of all, the tip was, don't forget to refill your own tank.
Right.
That's right. So now remember to be bold, be brave, be confident, be badass.
If you enjoy these interviews, you can watch videos of Mustang Monday on Kelly's YouTube channel, too. Grab your Badass Habits ebook. Get started on your badass journey. Go to licensedtobebadass.com.